Assistant of Marketing and Development for the Great Plains Black History Museum. Now, before anyone asks, what about the building on Lake Street? When are we going to open that? Well, our motto is the building is closed, but the museum is open. We are open, bringing you exhibits, bringing you presentations and lecture series. We will come to you. We will come to your church. We will come to your school. We will even come to your family reunion. We are here as a museum. A museum is not made by the building that it occupies, but the programs that comes out of it. So we are programming here for the Omaha area, the state of Nebraska, and the world. So you ask, what kind of programming do we have coming on? Well, coming up on June the 10th through the 30th, there is a Negro Leagues baseball exhibit, which will be located at the Omaha Baseball Village at 605 North 13th Street, which is really on the opposite end of the parking lot from the old Mattress Factory restaurant. We will have two exhibits there from the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, Times, Teams, and Talents, and they were all stars. You don't want to miss this. We will have a portion of that building with our exhibit. We will also have items for sale. Our gift shop will be open, and our hours will be from 10 to 8, Monday through Sunday. That's 7 days a week, 10 o'clock to 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. Then on June 19th, Coach Wilbert Ellis Awards. This will be a luncheon held at the old Mattress Factory upstairs at 11:30. There will be no College World Series games at that time of the luncheon. We invite you to come out. At the luncheon, we will be honoring Mr. George Anderson posthumously and Mr. Gene Haynes. And this is an award that was established in 2012 for Coach Wilbert Ellis, who is a retired baseball coach from Grambling University in Grambling, Louisiana. Coach Ellis has been coming to Omaha for about 22 years through the NCAA, conducting baseball clinics for the youth of our city, and the clinics are usually held at Creighton University. They're on a Saturday, and they're half-day clinics, and he brings up students and coaches from universities around the country to work with the children. It is a quality event, and it's something that you don't want to miss. Now, this year, that clinic will be held on Saturday, June 15th, and it will be at Creighton University at their baseball field on campus. There have been some rule changes with the NCAA in that they cannot work with high school age students because they would be considered agents. So this is for 3rd grade through 8th grade students. So if you know, and this is for male and female, boys and girls, so if you know some students that are interested in baseball or want to learn some techniques, have them come out to that clinic. And if you give us a call at the museum at 402-216-3852, we'll be glad to get you signed up with the NCAA. We are in contact with them. And if you're an athlete and you would like to volunteer, or if you just like to volunteer, we'd be glad to have you. Last year, I volunteered to conduct the nutrition part of the sports clinic. That was interesting, but I had a lot of fun. We've had more than 400 students participate, and I think last year doubled the number that he had the previous years. So I think it'll be a little bit different this year because the age ranges have changed, but it's definitely something you want to be a part of. The NCAA baseball clinic for youth, and Coach Wilbert Ellis is a part of that clinic. As a matter of fact, I consider him to be their guest lecturer when it comes to baseball. He's had several students that he has recruited. He's recruited Mr. Crandall from our area, who was in baseball, and he's had several students that he had at Grambling go to the National Baseball League, the American Baseball League. So Coach Willis is somebody to know. And you'll be disappointed if you have a youth that is interested in baseball and they do not attend this workshop. So what are some of the other things that the Great Plains Black History Museum is doing? Remember, the building at 2213 Lake Street is closed, but the museum is open. We sponsor a lecture series this year we had three persons in our lecture series. A local author, Ian Garrett. I'm sure some of you may have encountered Ian. Juan McAllister came to talk about Wouldn't Take Nothing for My Journey Now. He was the first African American president of the Omaha JC's organization and one of the first African Americans that was hired at Western Electric. You have to be old to know what that is, Avaya, in their management program. And then we also co-sponsored with Countryside Community Church, an author that came and talked about the slavery that we are experiencing now. Against all the odds, we still have slavery in our country, but it's called different things. And so that author came and spoke, and it was a record crowd. So we bring quality programming to the Omaha area through the Great Plains Black History Museum. We come out to schools. We've presented to schools in the Archdiocese of Omaha. We presented to schools in the West Side School District, and we've also done presentations through OPS. We would be glad to come out and speak with your school. Again, give us a call at 402-216-3852, and we'd be glad to put you on our schedule. We would also come and do presentations at your corporation. We have a structure right now up for sponsorship with the museum. You know, we bring all this programming to the city, but we need sponsors. We have been out to Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska and did a presentation in the month of February. We had about 45 employees from Blue Cross and Blue Shield that came down to hear our president and chairman, Mr. Jim Beatty, give a presentation, and he also brings artifacts and photographs when we do presentations. So it's not just us talking, but we bring some physical things for you to look at, some things for you to enjoy from the Great Plains Black History Museum. Now, I know there's that question, well, what happened to all the stuff in the museum, better known as artifacts and photographs? We have removed those, and those are in safekeeping. Mrs. Bertha Calloway, who is the founder of the Great Plains Black History Museum, started out in 1975, and now I'm going to put some age on it. When I was in high school, I actually helped Mrs. Calloway catalog some of those items that were in the museum. And the people of Omaha were very, very generous in sharing with her the artifacts that their families had, some cherished mementos, some books, photographs, items from their family history. And we have removed those from the museum. If you drive by the location at this time, there is a yellow sticker on the door, and that says that the building is uninhabitable. But irregardless that the building is closed, the museum is open. And we'd like to come out and do presentations where you work, with your family members, with your churches, with your children's school, with after-school programs. We are available. Now, the next question is there a fee? Well, we'd like a donation. We do take time to put these exhibits together. We will be coming out with a book probably about November of this year, just in time for the holidays. And it has pictures from the museum's collection, of which there are quite a few. Over 100 pictures. Dr. Patrick Jones, who is a professor at UNL in their history department, he and some of his associates put this book together. It is coming out through Dawning Publishing, and so we look forward to you being able to purchase that as a Christmas gift. You can look at our website, which is www.gp, G as in George, P as in Paul, Black, BLACK, Museum, MUSEUM.org. So it is www.gpblackmuseum.org. You can become a member of our museum on that website. You can make a donation. Membership at the museum entitles you to quite a few things. First of all, you go on our email list. And some of you, even though you're not members, you're still on our email list. But we bring you up to date on what's going on with the museum, what's going on in the city of Omaha. We like to say that we would like to be the calendar of the city. So if you send us your events, we will put those on our website, and that could be like a clearinghouse so that you will know what is going on, and maybe we won't have events that come up against each other in times. But again, www.gpblackmuseum.org, and you can find all kinds of information about the Great Plains Black History Museum. And we appreciate having 1690 AM, The One, sponsoring us for the chat with the Great Plains Black History Museum. In the future, we will have guests. Next week, my guest will be Jamar Dorsey, who is the chairperson of the Coach Wilbert Ellis Sports Youth Award luncheon. And he will be on talking about the luncheon. We'll talk about the baseball exhibit. And by the way, the exhibit starts on June the 10th and goes through June the 30th, as I said before, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. We will have a ribbon cutting ceremony on that Wednesday, which is June the 12th at 10 o'clock a.m. We've invited Councilman Ben Gray. Several dignitaries from throughout the city will be there. And we invite you to come down and be a part of a historic moment. Last year we did the Negro Leagues baseball exhibit, and it was in 3 places. We had it out at the baseball field. We had it at the Omaha Baseball Village, and we were also located in Conestoga Elementary School on Burdette. This year we'll be in one location. We'll be there for that 20-day period for a 10-hour day. There is no reason that you cannot come and experience Negro Leagues baseball. Now, we'll have some pictures from our own artifacts, but most of the exhibit will be coming from the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum in Kansas City, Missouri. They have gladly shared their exhibits with us. We had 3 exhibits last year. We have 2 this year, and we're going to supplement those exhibits with some of our own artifacts. We have a lot of baseball history here in Omaha. It didn't just get started with the Omaha Royals. There were many black baseball players in the state of Nebraska, in the city of Omaha. There was actually a black female team, or I guess I should say African American baseball team that was in outstate Nebraska. We have pictures of that. Union Pacific Railroad used to sponsor an African American baseball team. So you want to come out and learn more about the history of your city, the history of the Great Plains. We're not just limited to Omaha, but we feature things from all over the state and all over the Great Plains area. And when I say Great Plains, I mean from Manitoba, Canada, all the way down through Oklahoma and Texas. I know most of us in this area think of the Great Plains and we just think of Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, maybe Missouri on a good day. But the Great Plains spans a large portion of the United States. And there were a lot of great things that happened in the Great Plains area, and we're here to bring that to you. I want to talk about some of the artifacts that we have and some of the things that we do with the museum with those artifacts. Let me digress a minute. You say, well, how do you get that done? There's no building. You travel around with these artifacts, so who does that? We have a great board of directors. Our chairman and president is Mr. James R. Beatty, Beatty. We also have Dr. Amy Force, who is with Metropolitan Community College. She is a history professor there. We have Dr. Chiwango, who is from Creighton University, who is also a professor at Creighton. We have Mr. Omar Valentine, who is part of the admissions department of Creighton University. We have Mr. Robert Rose, Mr. Bob Rose, who is with the Tuskegee Airmen. We have Mr. Terrence Coleman, who is with the Nebraska Enterprise Fund. I got it right. Nebraska Business Enterprise Fund. If you're in business and you're looking to expand your business, you probably want to talk to Mr. Coleman. We also have Mr. Rudy Smith. Rudy is a retired photojournalist with the Omaha World Herald, has thousands of pictures, and some of those will be featured in our museum very, very soon. We also have Mr. Frank Hayes, who is our treasurer. He takes care of the money. And that's a very important part. And another board member is Mr. Nicholas Murray, who works for the National Park Service. We think about city parks, but you need to explore what's going on at the National Park Service. Awesome programming, and it's not just in Omaha, it's around the country. And so we are working with the National Park Service, putting some programming together. We have partnered with other African American museums. We have visited with the DuSable Museum in Chicago, Illinois, and gotten a great response from them. They showed us some of the ropes in having a museum and some educational features that we plan to feature with the Great Plains Black History Museum. We also have partnered with the African American Museum of Iowa. Yes, I said Iowa. Cedar Rapids, Iowa, to be exact. We actually visited that facility. Awesome facility. They have a new director there. And we will be featuring an exhibit from their museum on the Underground Railroad. Did you realize that the state of Iowa was a portal for the Underground Railroad? So, something you want to be aware of, something you might want to study. We have some events coming up. June 7th at the Swanson Conference Center, or as I like to refer to it, the Culinary School, on the Metropolitan Community Campus at Fort Omaha in the Bistro Restaurant. We will have a reception and a membership update for the museum. A reception will be for myself, being named as the Vice President of Marketing and Development, and for our membership Vice President, who is Mr. Terrence Coleman. Now, that brings up membership in the museum. Can I be a member? Sure you can. Everyone can be a member. Memberships start at $10 for seniors, seniors being senior citizens, 65 and older. Then we have a $10 membership for students, 18 and younger, or if you're a college student and can prove that to us, you can be a $10 member also. We have a single membership for $20. We have a family membership for $40. And we have a business sponsorship for $100. And then the golden star on all of our memberships is our lifetime membership at $500. And we have quite a few lifetime members. If you go to our website at gpblackmuseum.com, I'm trying to type and go to the website at the same time, you can see a list of our members in our museum. It's under Great Membership. And we have quite a lengthy list, and we wanted to continue growing. We participated in Omaha Gives on May 22nd, and we raised $2,135 with 43 donors. That is awesome, but we can do more, Omaha. We can do more, nation of listeners, because this is not a show that is just in Omaha. This is everywhere. Mr. King has it broadcast all over. If you go to our website and go under Great Membership, you can even join online with PayPal. You fill out all your information, your name, your address, the amount that you want your membership to be, your phone number, your email, and we will get you a membership card out in the mail, as well as the current listings of all of the events that we have coming up. Who out there is a golfer? Golf, golf. Who golfs? Well, we're having a golf tournament on August the 2nd during Native Omaha weekend. That is on Friday at 1:30 is the tee-off time, and it is called History on the Greens. Now, for those who don't know, did you know that a African-American dentist invented the golf tee? You know, that little thing that you put your golf ball on when you get ready to hit it out of the box on the first stroke as you go toward the hole? That was invented by a black man. There would be no golf, or the game of golf would certainly be different without that golf tee. So we are, for our membership or for registering to play golf, you will receive, for your $125 registration fee per person, we are encouraging you to be on teams. If you don't have a team, we will put you on a team. But for that $125 registration, you will get a copy of the book called Uneven Lies. This is about the history of African Americans in golf. You will receive a single membership to our museum. And if you're already a member, that will just increase your membership by a year because those memberships are annual. And you will also receive a copy of the African American Golf Digest. Yes, there is a magazine out there for African Americans published by African Americans on golf. And you will also receive a 1-year subscription to that publication. So just think, a day of fun on August the 2nd. Tee-off time is 1:30. We start registration at 11 o'clock. It will be at Shoreline. You know, like we go on our way to the airport down Locust. Shoreline is a golf club that's over there on your left. You will receive the book. You will receive the magazine. You will receive a membership to the museum. That is almost a $70 value for $125. And you'll learn some history. Every hole will have a history fact about blacks in golf on the hole, so you'll learn something while you're playing. And then we have hole sponsorships. Those are available for $100. You can also be a sponsor of awards for $100. We have all kinds of sponsorships available. Just give us a call, 402-216-3852, and we'll be able to tell you all about the golf tournament, all about how you can donate to the museum, as well as how you can become a member. And we would love to have you as a volunteer. Now, what do volunteers do for the museum? A lot of things. You can come and volunteer at the baseball exhibit. You can help us do some filing and cataloging. We will soon be doing some historic looking at the state of Nebraska and trying to determine when African Americans inhabited every county in the state. Every county. So past Grand Island, all the way over to the west, and all the way east, and all the way north, and all the way south. We want to be able to bring you that information as a historic point. I think that it's important to know that there were blacks in Cherry County in the state of Nebraska. There is a lady that lives in Maryland who has been very good to share her family archives with us and her family history of her grandparents, I believe it was, or great-grandparents, coming from Cherry County, coming from Canada to Cherry County, Nebraska to settle. Do you know that the railroad, the Union Pacific Railroad, was responsible for bringing many blacks to the state of Nebraska? It was a promise of jobs. People migrating from the south to the north. You came here, you were promised land, you received land, you were promised jobs, you received jobs. So being at Union Pacific Railroad, they were one of the major hirers of African Americans coming to the state of Nebraska. That's pretty phenomenal. That's probably a piece of history you didn't know. Your Aunt Judy might work there now, but there were people that worked there in the 1800s at UP Railroad. So that is something to be proud of and something that we need to bring out more to our children, because I think that the children don't realize without history, there is no future. And so we are dedicated to bringing the future of the African Americans located in the Great Plains to the forefront. And we're doing that right here in Omaha, Nebraska. So I mentioned that we would love to have you be a volunteer. We have internships available. I was just at a meeting this morning, and we'll have some employees of the museum from the Step It Up Omaha program. So we are giving back, and we are sharing the knowledge that we have. We'll be doing some training with those young persons that will be working with the museum, and we are really looking forward to it. If you go to our website, you will see an awesome logo there that says Great Plains Black History Museum. It's in the colors of gold, red, green, black, and orange. That was designed by Mr. George Garrett III. And it also says they're preserving, celebrating, and educating. And that is what we do. We are here to preserve the history of the African Americans on the Great Plains. We are celebrating that history. You know what? If something good happens, you want to throw a party. So we are celebrating the history of African Americans on the Great Plains. And there's nothing to celebrate if you're not educated and you don't know what the contributions were. So we are very appreciative. We would love to have your donations of um, artifacts, of photographs, of magazine articles. There are treasures locked away in attics, in basements of many persons. And let's say that you have a loved one that passes away who is older, and there's a box of, you would say, stuff. We would say history. If you would like to donate that to our museum, just give us a call, 402-216-3852. And we would be glad to come pick it up, have you drop it off at our offices so that we can share that history with the world. I don't know if you saw that there was a gentleman that bought a box of glass negatives. So people who are photographers, you know that glass negatives were a long, long time ago. But he bought a box of glass negatives at a garage sale and didn't think anything about it, put it in his parents' garage, stored it with his brother, did a lot of things with it, but never threw it out, thought it was kind of valuable. I think he paid like $75 for it. Well, he sent some of those glass negatives to the Smithsonian. And the Smithsonian will have an exhibit of his negatives when the African American Smithsonian Museum opens in the year 2015. And we have made contact with that gentleman, and he is also going to share some of those glass negatives with us. That's history. That's something that someone found of no value. They put it in a box, put it in a garage sale, tagged it, and thought nothing else of it. And that featured prominent blacks in the city of Lincoln, Nebraska. And if you know anything about photography, we have some awesome photographers now. Excuse me, I got an itchy nose. We have some awesome photographers now, but if anyone historically has been in Omaha a long time, you know about the photographs that have WW in the corner in white ink. That was Mr. William White, who took pictures of every birthday party, every family reunion, every social event, every church event all around the city. Following him was a man named Mr. Station. Following that was, and I see his face right before me, and I can't think of his name, but he is still around taking pictures, and he will be photographing some of our events. And so, photography is not new in our community. Photography is the way that we maintained our history. We have a very rich oral history, and we want to talk to some of the elders of our community and actually videotape them and get the stories that they have. You know, the stories that you hear around the family reunion table, around the Sunday dinner table, that your great aunt tells, or your grandfather, or your grandfather's brother, or your grandfather's cousin, and you think, oh shoot, that's nothing. No, that is history, and we want to record that, and we want to talk to the elders in our city about some of the things that they know about historically, not only in Omaha, but their own stories. I want to tell you that the mission of the Great Plains Black History Museum will feature and commemorate the historical and cultural achievements with a special focus to preserve and celebrate the contributions of the people of African American ancestry of the Great Plains of the United States, as well as the people of African descent from around the nation and the world. That is part of the mission statement that we have on our website. And for the past 30 years, the Great Plains Black History Museum has been an institution dedicated to publicizing and preserving the achievements of the region's vibrant African American heritage, to ensure the success both of future capital campaigns and the sustainability of our museum. The museum must gain broad community acceptance. The target audience will include the general African American community, regional residents, school children, and tourists. The museum maintains objectives that are as follows: to provide a gathering place and an educational resource to celebrate, identify, the achievements of the contributions of African Americans have made in the development and settlement of the Great Plains region, adhering to authenticity and truthfulness in the presentation of this history. We will inspire learning and contributions to knowledge, cooperating with schools, historic sites, and other institutions in and beyond Omaha to facilitate research and artistic expression. We will strengthen the commitments to social justice and bridge cultural differences. We will offer a context in which to understand local and regional African American history and culture through providing information about national and global history of Africans and African American history and culture. Through our partnerships and our committees, we must foster the growth of much needed community leaders and organizations, to which emphasis will be placed on effective community outreach programs targeting youth, parents, and community organizations. We have a broad mission ahead of us. Mrs. Calloway began it in 1975. There was a little bit of dip going on, and I think the building at 2213 Lake Street has been closed since 1997. Many people that I encounter who are 30 and above say, "Oh, I remember coming to that museum. I remember Mrs. Calloway." I met a lady who said her mother used to work with Mrs. Calloway. I met another lady who said she used to actually work in the museum herself. There is a rich history, and we are here to bring it alive at the Great Plains Black History Museum. We do not consider ourselves an attic for black folks stuff. We have world-class exhibits, we have world-class artifacts, and we are here to bring them to you. To you, the Omaha area, share it with the state of Nebraska. We plan to do bus trips, bus tours to outstate Nebraska. Let's see some of those places where we settled in the western part of the state. African Americans were just not in Omaha, Nebraska. Remember, I told you they were as far as Cherry County. Look at all the counties in Nebraska, and we plan to document the history of those counties and the history of African Americans in those counties and when we came to that county. So the Great Plains Black History Museum is alive and well. And you need to know that we are a nonprofit 501c3 community organization devoted to the retrieval, interpretation, dissemination, and preservation of historic and contemporary materials pertaining to the cultural development contributions of African Americans in the heartland of America. So, if you make a donation to our museum, that is tax deductible. Memberships are not tax deductible, but donations are, and we would gladly accept that. You can even donate on our website through PayPal. We accept your check. If you see us somewhere and we're at an event, we'll be glad to take your cash. We are seeking memberships for the Great Plains Black History Museum. We have a goal by the end of the year that we'd like to have 500 members. We're right about 120 at this point. And with the events that we have coming up, we always have membership information available, and we will always accept your memberships wherever we are. We are looking for partners. We are looking for community partners. We are looking for people that want to partner with us in providing programming. We're looking for people who would like to partner with us in sponsorships. If you work for a corporation, did you know that some corporations do matching contributions when you make a donation? I know that Blue Cross and Blue Shield is one of those corporations. We had some people from Blue Cross and Blue Shield to donate. They sent me their matching donor information, and we sent that back to Blue Cross. And not only did they donate, but their company is donating, and that doubles the effectiveness of your donation. So remember, companies won't match memberships, but they will match donations. And we take donations at all times for all reasons. So don't be shy. Donate to the Great Plains Black History Museum. Again, that building at 2213 Lake Street is closed. You can't go in it. If you were around our area during Christmas, you noticed that we had a sign on the side of the building, a decoration no less, for the holidays that said "Believe." We believe in the Great Plains Black History Museum, and we have a vision for the museum. Coming soon, we'll be sharing that vision, what we would like to see happen. I was speaking with our president and chairman the other day, and I was listening to some commencement speeches by African Americans. I heard a commencement speech that I think Oprah did, and I want to say it was 2009 at Spelman. I might be wrong about the date, but I'm right about the location. She talked about a little girl that saved just pocket change. She had people donate their pocket change. And from that, she raised $1,000, in which they provided to a family in need. But when Oprah heard that story about pocket change, and you know we all have some, she developed the Angel Network. And if you've ever watched any of her programming, she would give people who had no idea why they were on her show, she would help to fund their children's way through college, their children's way through school, provide for maybe a mother who was raising her siblings' children, raising nieces and nephews, grandmothers, to shelters and homes. But think about it, Omaha. Pocket change. We will take your pocket change at the Great Plains Black History Museum, and we will soon have a pocket change campaign going on for a time period so that you will have an opportunity to donate. You know what? There is a story about a lady who was a cleaning woman, and she saved a little bit every week from that money that she earned as a cleaning lady. She put that money in the bank. She would go to the bank and she'd put in her, what we might call pocket change these days, but she would put her money in the bank and she saved that money, and she didn't have air conditioning in her house. She had a fan. She didn't drive a car. She took a bus, or sometimes she even walked to work. But the money that that woman amassed upon her death, she donated to an educational institution which still today provides scholarships to students. There is no amount that is too small. There is no amount that we would not accept. I was speaking with Mr. Beatty, and we talked about a penny drive. Do a penny drive at all the elementary schools. Everybody has pennies. Pennies add up to nickels. They go into dimes. They make up quarters. Quarters go into dollars. Dollars go into fives. They go into tens. They go into 20s. They go into 50s. And they go into hundreds. And they go into thousands. So there is no amount that is too small. The Great Plains Black History Museum. What do we do with the money that you contribute to the museum? It provides programming. It provides us to be able to bring things to the Omaha community. We are looking for national speakers for our lecture series this fall. We've had several names contributed to us for people in a lecture series. And you know what? To bring people to Omaha, if you don't already live here, you got to have a plane ticket. You got to have some place to stay. And you have to eat while you're here. All of those things go into contributions that you make to the Great Plains Black History Museum. The exhibits that we have, the people in Kansas City don't just send those exhibits to us. We have to pay a fee to bring that kind of quality exhibit to Omaha, Nebraska. Earlier this year, we did a salute to black women. There is a gentleman by the name of Terri who is a retired art teacher. And he draws with a number 2 pencil. You know that pencil, that wooden pencil that all the children have? He draws with that kind of pencil. He did 21 drawings of African American females. And these are not just little pencil drawings in a book. He did drawings that were, I want to say 16 by 20 framed artwork that we had on display with our art partners at the Loves Jazz and Art Center. They were not having up displays for a time period, and they called us and said, do you have something from the museum that you'd like to display? And Jim had met Terri. This gentleman with these drawings that he has, and they are drawings of people like Mahalia Jackson, Betty Holiday, Nina Simone, Betty Shabazz, Coretta Scott King. And his comment was that you always see black men featured. What about black women? Do you know who Bessie Coleman is? She was the first African American female to have a pilot's license. And this gentleman, this artist, actually researched the figures that he drew. So on the drawing of Bessie Coleman, there is a picture of an airplane in the background. Every portrait that he has done has something that is significant to that person featured in that portrait. Pearl Bailey's portrait has the musical notes to the song Hello Dolly, which helped to make her famous. Mahalia Jackson's portrait has a stanza and the musical notes to Precious Lord. Billie Holiday has that signature gardenia in her hair. Constance Baker, who is a judge, has a gavel on the portrait that she has. And this is the kind of artwork that we feature at the Great Plains Black History Museum. We are open, we are eager, we are hungry for artists of all types, of all cultures, to share their artwork with our museum. We want to bring that artwork to you here in the Omaha area and be able to take that on the road. I mentioned that we want to do bus tours. We want to go to the Mayhew Cabin. If you know anything about that, that's part of the Underground Railroad type of exhibit that we have within our state. I think when I was younger, we used to call it John Brown's Cave. Well, they've developed it more, and there's more to it. And now it's called Mayhew, Mayhew Cabin. And we plan to go there. We plan to take some trips out of town. We'd like to go and tour some of the other African American museums that are in the African American Museum system. Some of our sister museums that are in other cities. We could take a weekend trip and go to the DuSable Museum. And then there are also other museums in the city of Chicago that we could visit. We could make a weekend of it. Leave here on a Friday, wake up in Chicago on Saturday. We could tour the museum on Saturday, do something fun, do something great on Sunday, and come back home and be at work on Monday morning. That sounds like a trip to me. That's a nice bus trip. Do some historical things while we're on that bus. Learn some history facts. There are great, great, great things ahead for you if you become a family member or become a partner in the Great Plains Black History Museum family. Just awesome. We have some great things going on, and we want to share that. And we would love to have your comments. You can reach us through an email. You can email me, Terri, Terri, Sanders, Sanders, at gpblackmuseum.org. And you know what? We have a Facebook page. We are in the digital age. We have a Facebook page. It is Great Plains Black History Museum on Facebook. All the words that go with it. We also have a Twitter. So you can tweet us at GP Black Museum. And that G is capitalized on our Twitter name. We are also on Pinterest, GPBM, Great Plains Black Museum, GPBM on Pinterest. And we're adding to it every day. If you happen to see me around town, I have our logo board that I carry with me in my car. And my goal is to take everyone's picture with our logo. So if you look on our website, if you look on our Facebook page, we have some pictures up. I'm going to be diligent and get up more pictures of people around town that support and believe in the Great Plains Black History Museum. If you come to our office, you definitely have to take a picture. And you say, where are our offices? We are located in the Park Plaza building, which is on 31st and Dodge, 31st Avenue to be exact. And we're on the second floor in office number 219. We have a fantastic view I will be taking pictures of that view. We overlook Turner Park and we face Midtown, so our windows are on that Dodge Street side. And you know, it just gives us a breath of fresh air and lets us be a part of the Omaha horizon. And we will be very, very soon. So join us on Facebook. Um, Join us on Twitter. We'd love to have you. Right now we have 266 likes on Facebook. I would like to see us by the end of the summer. So let's say by September 15th, because I think that's a good benchmark. I'd like to have at least 1,000 likes on Facebook. And you can help me with that. Go to our Facebook page, Great Plains Black History Museum. Click like. You will see up a poster of the Negro Leagues baseball exhibit, and we have that as an event there. We have our History on the Greens golf tournament as an event that will be held at the Shoreline Golf Course in Carter Lake, Iowa. We are busy at the Great Plains Black History Museum. Our board is phenomenal. There's only one staff person at the museum, and that would be me. And I can't do it all. So we have people that are volunteers. Our History on the Greens co-chairs are Mr. Keith Station and Mr. Wesley Dacus, both awesome golfers. And so they will be out on behalf of the museum promoting History on the Greens for August 2nd at the Shoreline Golf Course in Carter Lake, Iowa. And the Negro Leagues baseball exhibit, of course, we will be down at the Omaha Baseball Village. Come, bring your children, bring your grandchildren, bring your nieces and nephews, bring your daycare, bring your summer program, bring your baseball team, bring your softball team. Everyone should experience a Negro Leagues baseball exhibit. Now, we do have a fee. It is $2. That's for man, woman, and child. No pets allowed. But for the caliber of exhibit that you will see, you will not want your money back. You will be more than satisfied. So the Negro Leagues baseball exhibit begins on June the 10th. Remember, we have a ribbon cutting on June the 12th. If you are planning on bringing a group to the exhibit, we would like to know ahead of time so we can be prepared for you properly. Give us a call at 402-216-3852. And you can also email us, Terri Sanders, TerriSanders, at gpblackmuseum.org. Drop us an email line. You can send us an email if you would like to be on our email list so that you can get in your email box the most current information about the museum. Remember, I said that we have an event coming up on Friday, June the 7th at the Swanson Conference Center in the Bistro. We invite everyone to come out. Come out and hear what's going on with the museum. Come out and see what's going on with the museum. And of course, since we're at the culinary school, come out and taste the museum with us. So we will be there from 5:30 to 7:30 on Friday. Then, as I said before, the baseball exhibit is coming up June 10th through the 30th. You don't want to miss that. If you take a look at the poster that we have up of that, they were all stars. Do you know who Larry Doobie was? Do you know about Monty Irvin? Do you know about Ernie Banks? What about Henry Hank Aaron? You know about Sam Jones? What about Gene Baker? Jim Gilliam, Charlie Neal, George Altman, John Wyatt, Al Smith, George Crow, and there are more. So you want to come out. Jackie Robinson is even featured in an exhibit. Times, Teams, and Talents. Do you know who Buck O'Neill is? Well, if you come out to this exhibit, you'll find out. And we will have some gift shop items from the Negro League Baseball Museum. We will have some T-shirts. We will have Great Plains Black History Museum T-shirts. We will have ball caps. We might even have a few bats. But you want to come out to the exhibit from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. We will be there. We will be glad to see you. We will take your memberships at that time. If you'd like to make a donation to the museum, we take it at that time. And we might even start our pocket change campaign during the Negro Leagues baseball exhibit down there in the Omaha Baseball Village. Now, the Omaha Baseball Village is on 13th Street across from TD Ameritrade Park. So if you're at the College World Series and you're in between games and you want to do something fun, come on over. See us at the Great Plains Black History Museum, the Negro Leagues baseball exhibit. We promise it will be a treat. And we have made a commitment that every year that the College World Series is in Omaha, we will have a Negro Leagues baseball exhibit. And you know how long that contract is for, so we plan to be around for a while. We would ask you to follow us on Facebook, sign up with us on Twitter, come to our events. We usually feature them on Facebook. I see that we are now live on the air on YouTube, so check us out. But we here at the Great Plains Black History Museum, we are a museum of the people, and we are world class. We have world class exhibits, we have a world class board, and everything we do is great. So we invite you to come and be a part. And we just have a few more minutes here. If your friends and neighbors say, well, we didn't know the museum was on the radio. Yes, we are on the radio. 1690 AM, The One. You can get us if you're in Washington, D.C. You could get us in Alabama. You can get us in Tennessee. You can get us in California. You can get us in Las Vegas. You can get this all over the country because this is an internet radio station. Thanks to the innovativeness of Mr. William King and his staff of One, we are on the air, and we will be here every Tuesday night from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and we'll be live on the air through Ustream. That's how you get it on your computer. There's also an Android application. It is 1690 AM THEONE, and you can get an Android application as well as you can get an Apple application so that you can see what is going on. I had a gentleman contact me on Facebook. His name is Andy Coley, and Andy is a woodworker. And when I say woodworker, I mean Andy really is a woodworker. He builds beds itself for $13,000. I went down to his shop on Farnham and met with him, and he shared with me that he remembers the Great Plains Black History Museum. He said he remembers going in there as a child. He goes by the building. He used to go by the building every day from 2001 until 2011. And he was saddened driving past the building to see that it was dormant. He understood that funding can be tough to get in certain neighborhoods, but he also understands how Omaha seems to have little interest in all of the people who call it home. So every day on his drive home, he wondered what could he do. Mr. Coley has volunteered to build us some display cabinets once the museum is up and running again with a facility. And he said that he just wants to see, the people need to know this rich history, and those items that belong to the museum deserve love and respect. But most of all, it deserves to be seen. Now, that's a direct quote from Mr. Andy Coley, who is a woodworking artist and the owner of Coley Furniture Studio here in Omaha. He has a website, www.coleyfurniturestudio.com. So if you go on our website, he's under Great News, and it is his account of what he remembers about the Great Plains Black History Museum. And if you look online and you see that, you will also see that he is holding up our logo sign. So if you see me going down the street, stop me, ask me, where's that sign? I want my picture. And we will be glad to take your picture with our logo designed by Mr. George Garrett III. On our website, there is a running slideshow, and you can see the decorations that we had for the holidays, the snowflakes in the window and the Believe on the side of the building. That's because we believe in the Great Plains Black History Museum. We believe in the future. We believe in the legacy. And we believe that we once again will have a world-class museum right here in the city of Omaha that will give the people of Omaha bragging rights. Oh, have you been to our Great Plains Black History Museum? Have you seen what we have in our museum? I know I travel the country, as many of you do. And the first thing people say, are there black people in Omaha, Nebraska? How many black people? There are quite a few. Next week I'll bring you the statistics. Mr. King is coming in, so I must be going off. But I invite you to be part of the chat. Next week we'll have the phone lines up so that you can talk with us and ask us some questions about the rich, rich heritage of the Great Plains Black History Museum. Because remember, the building on Lake Street is closed, but the museum is open and coming to you wherever you are. So, I am Terri D. Sanders, the Vice President of Marketing and Development for the Great Plains Black History Museum. Check us out on Facebook, Great Plains Black History Museum. Join us. Check out our website, www.gpblackmuseum.org. And until next Tuesday night at 7 p.m., I bid you adieu.